friends. This is Music Mindfulness. I'm Kalani Das. Today's theme is observing, connecting, noticing, being with all the life around you, connecting with others. We'll have another reading from the Radiant Sutras and more music today. Thanks for being here. Thanks for joining me today and everybody here. If you'd like, put in the chat, put in the comments where you are, where you're from. You put your name in there if you want, something you're excited about. Thanks for joining me today, everybody. This is Music Mindfulness, and we're looking at how music can inform our mindfulness practice. How can we benefit from the way of the musician, the aesthetics, the philosophy, the ethics, the practices of the musician. I believe that in practicing music and being musical and being a musician and playing alone and with others, that I've been cultivating my own mindfulness practice for years. Because if you compare the values and practices and goals of mindfulness as it is stated in various forms throughout the world and throughout time, you'll see that music making and music being, sometimes called musicking, that is a word, you'll see that they support one another and align very closely, if not amazingly. Amazingly close, and they share a lot of practices and values and goals. However, I also believe as a musician that one of the benefits of practicing or cultivating my mindfulness capabilities through music is that it's a double bonus because I get music in addition to mindfulness. So let's get to today's reading because it's one that I've talked about in various forms in my podcast, in the recordings of the Evolve podcast, which I did a few years ago. Those are on iTunes, a little over 20 episodes. You can listen to those if you like. But there's this idea, and I've done this, and again, I know some of these things sound a little bit corny, and I realize that, but I think they're valuable. So I'm going to share them with you in the hopes that you'll try them, and then you can see what happens for you. Nothing is prescriptive. We can't predict an outcome, but we can try different things and find out for ourselves how that was, what worked, what didn't, and develop our own practice. Because ultimately, any mindfulness practice or any spiritual practice is a private practice. That's up to you, what you do. Whether you use some of the mainstream teachings, fringe teachings, or your own bespoke practice, as I do, to achieve a lot of the same goals that we're all trying to achieve. So here's a practice, and I'm going to tell you what I do, and then I'm going to read this, because when I read this, it was very interesting, and it was something that I had been doing naturally. And I think that's another thing. I hope you are... I hope you keep this in mind that, you are your own best teacher when it comes to music and mindfulness and spirituality. Because you have everything you need. There's nobody who has more tools than you have to do it. You can observe the same things. You can come to a lot of the same conclusions in your own way that other people have come in their own way. And you don't need to necessarily copy what somebody else does. You can certainly use religion or spiritual practices as a guide or platform. Absolutely. But at the same time, you're the experimenter, you're the pilot, you're the captain of the ship. All right. So just do your own work. And I feel like that will be your best resource. Paying attention, experimenting, trying things out, being a investigator, an explorer of the world as you find it, and of your own experience in it, and your experience is the most valid and valuable for you. So here's something that I've done. And again, I know this sounds a little weird, but just go with it for a second. Is you could observe, and I'm just going to put this in very simple terms. There's multiple ways you could do this, but I call this an exercise in empathy. To connect with peace, to connect with life, to connect with the feeling of groundedness, of growth, of tranquility. Very simple, and I've talked about this in the podcast. Let's just make it simple. Let's take a potted plant, like a flower or something you like looking at. And look at that life form, look at that plant. Could be an animal too, but let's just keep it simple. Observe that. Let's say it's a plant growing, a flower growing in a pot. And just observe it and try to, and here's the part that's a little weird, but it's okay. Imagine what that life is experiencing, the feeling of being rooted, of extending into the earth, of pulling in everything you need from the earth and the sun and the air, growing slowly, just reaching out, experiencing life and all the things that go with that. And there's lots of things that are going on there with anything, with any life form, animated things, even inanimate objects we know are full of activity. But for right now, let's not go to the quantum level. We're just going to talk about it could be a tree, it could be something outside, anything. But put yourself there. Imagine what the feeling is, the deep peacefulness, reaching into the cool earth and also into the air, absorbing the sun, turning light into energy and potential and growth, and the overarching feeling of spirit, of creation, of the energy of the universe that's creating all things, that's nurturing all things, and that energy flowing through you. And forget about yourself for a minute. Just connect with that other thing. And if you do that, I believe that it'll help you appreciate and feel and connect with things that we all want, like peace, like tranquility, like groundedness, safety, but also expansion and growth and validity. Like, yeah, I deserve to be here. I'm here. I'm growing. I'm in the world. I'm part of the universe, just like everything else. We're all here together, and we're all part of this amazing expression of life, an expression of creativity, an expression of vitality. And that's all we have to do. And at your core and at the core of other beings is all of those things that we desire. What gets in the way of experiencing those things is up here, is our, some people call it the ego or the id, all that stuff, the thinking and the labeling and the judgment and the me, and the and the shoulds and coulds and wants and haves and losses and all that stuff. That all buries the feelings of connectivity. So let me read. Going to read today's reading, because that's what readings are for. From the Radiant Sutras, Lauren Roche's transcription. So today, here we are. I'm going to go to the graphic for this. Extend your awareness into the bodies of other living things. Feel what those others are feeling. Leave aside your body and its needs. Abandon being so local. Day by day, constrictions will loosen as you become attuned to the current of life flowing through us all. Isn't that a beautiful message? So pretty much what I just described, but there it is in the Radiant Sutras, which are translations that are thousands of years old. Translations of things that are thousands of years old. Recently translated into a poetic form of English that I can read. So I hope you guys appreciate that. And I hope you try that. And if you've tried that, great. If not, try it out and see what happens. And don't be afraid to try things. And again, my message to you all, really, and if you've been watching this series, you know this, is that you don't have to look to others for the key, for the answers, for the secrets. You know, there's a lot of selling of secrets out there. You guys know this. A lot of people who claim to have, you know, the secrets of this and the keys to that and the unlocking this and the, you know, and that's fine. And there's a lot of talented teachers. There's no doubt. That's all true. However, you are your best teacher, and your experience is valid and the most valid for you. So please find your own way, try things out, pay attention, don't think too much, be in the world, connect with others to find the feeling of peace and tranquility and experience what's that like, what that is like, because that's in you too all the time, but it gets buried and we forget and we get distracted, and so we need to sometimes just reground ourselves in something real, tangible, here and now. And so sitting and observing something else that's got it together, like a beautiful flower who has no worries, they have no worries, they're doing their thing, and it's amazing. So connect with that energy. And if you have something useful to share along those lines, you can do that in the comments now or later. But thanks for being here. I'm going to play a little more music for you all and send you on your way. And I'll see you next week, and we'll have another theme. And if you're interested in any of the instruments I'm playing, or you'd like to know how to do music, how to be musical or play an instrument, see me at patreon.com/Kalani. And if you'd like to support any of my work, including this podcast or broadcast, then you can do that over there at patreon.com. I appreciate the support from the community over there. All right, let's go with something a little different. All right, here we go.